Melania Trump has settled 2 lawsuits she filed against the Daily Mail after the British tabloid published an article alleging the modeling agency she worked for in the 1990s had also been an escort service. In a joint statement released Wednesday with its online website, the Daily Mail said, quote, "We accept that these allegations about Mrs. Trump are not true, and we retract and withdraw them. We apologize to Mrs. Trump for any distress that our publication caused her." CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington and joins us now. Paula, can you break down these 2 lawsuits that the First Lady filed against the Daily Mail?
The First Lady filed a lawsuit in the UK and the US against the Daily Mail, alleging, as you just said, that they printed a false story suggesting that she didn't move here to be a model, that she actually moved here to be an escort. Now, at the time, then, Mrs. Trump denied these allegations. The former head of this modeling agency also denied it, and the article kind of confessed that it really didn't have much evidence to support this claim. In her original lawsuit, her lawyers argued that because of this false story, she was going to lose out on possible profits when she became First Lady and was able to capitalize on that role to promote her brand. After the White House came under scrutiny for some saying trying to profit off being in the White House, they withdrew that claim. They kind of reworked their lawsuit, and today they settled.
What are the terms of the settlement?
Under the settlement, she will get an apology. And if you go to the Daily Mail, as I have today, as I do most days, I will admit, it's right there in the middle. This is one of the most highly trafficked news websites in the world. And she got an apology right in the middle of the page. She's also getting a monetary settlement, which is reported to be around $3 million.
Paula, I go there too. There's no worries about that one.
Great.
In February, the First Lady also had another defamation lawsuit settled against a Maryland blogger. He agreed to pay a settlement. What's the message that the Trump administration is trying to send when it comes to publishing articles like these?
The First Lady is clearly trying to send a message. She means business in terms of litigating anyone who publishes false stories about her. Now, Dana, what's so interesting about that blogging lawsuit is that there was a routine hearing in Rockville, Maryland. She didn't have to be there for that case after her husband was elected. She went there personally. Now, Dana, we know she's a very elusive individual. The paparazzi refer to her as the great white whale because you just never see her. So the fact that she personally showed up to this routine hearing, she was really sending a message that she means business and she is going to be very litigious against anyone who publishes false and defamatory stories against her.
We've seen this before, tabloids putting out articles that aren't necessarily true, but how common is it for celebrities to then go after them like the First Lady is now?
It depends on the person. Some people are more litigious than others, and there's always the concern about what they refer to as the Streisand effect, and that is if you sue over something, you tend to bring more attention to it. This comes from when legendary Barbra Streisand sued, trying to suppress photos of her Malibu home, and in doing so wound up bringing way more attention to her home than it would have received otherwise. So it really just depends on who you are and what approach you take to it. It's also important to note celebrities, high-profile people, they have a lot more outlets now to quickly quash a story that's false. You can tweet about it. You can reply. You don't necessarily have to sue and force an apology like she did here.
Paula Reid in Washington. Thank you, Paula.